What's going on, everybody? Welcome to G-Miles World Podcast. Today we're going to be finishing up Week 12 in the 2018 NFL season with Monday Night Football. And one of the worst things about Monday Night Football now is Jason Witten's commentary, but that's neither here nor there. The other guy, Booger, I don't know what he's doing. It's a nightmare, bro, but let's not even talk about that. We're going to talk about the AFC South and why the Texans are going to win it. After starting 0-3, they are on an 8-game winning streak, and they look like they're ready to take the AFC South. Now, the Colts is the only other team that scares me because for some reason, I think Andrew Luck has, I forgot how many games he's going on with 3 touchdowns in a row. I think it's like 5 or 6, but that team is dangerous just simply because if Andrew Luck plays at a certain type of caliber level, he's going to be able to score points because T.Y. Hilton is not a slouch. So there's ways that it can kind of get shifted, but I think defensively the Texans have the edge. Deshaun Watson, pretty much what happened was in the beginning of the season, I didn't like the way he was playing because it seems like he was more conservative, more tentative than he was before he got that, the practice injury and he wasn't able to come back. And usually when athletes are recovering from injury, we get to see a lot about them, the way that they're careful, how they perform, under pressure and stuff like that. And it didn't look too good starting off the year. Now he looks a little bit more promising, 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground. I like what I'm seeing from them, okay? Pretty much the overall assessment of it, the game, they were down early. And you kind of got that sense where it was like, bruh, this team right here about to lose, though. You just start to look at certain things and you start to be a little bit more, if you're a Texans fan, you start to be a little bit more, you're cautious about what you're seeing. But then it kind of turned around. So for all of you guys that are Texans fans, you can actually see that early on, the protection, when you have Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt, somebody's getting sacked. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like somebody's finna get that whole wrath, like everything. They're going to get the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But realistically speaking, they weren't able to get to them until later on in the game. So I think what that means is when they go to the playoffs, they're going to have to figure out some kind of ways to get both of those guys, involved early because, when you're down 10-0 and then, it starts to become a little bit more, it's more overkill. Now the defense has to work extra hard to kind of get them in a position where they have to pass the ball because you could pretty much run the ball and, control the clock and stuff like that if you have an early lead. Usually, I think the Patriots, they do that the best. The biggest part of this game is, Mike Vrabel going for 4th down plays and not calling the right play. Like, you're giving it to fullbacks. Bro, listen, you got Marcus Mariota, who, I forgot how many passes in a row he got completed. I think it was like 19. He's playing well. He has the legs for it. That's one of the things that makes him useful in the league. And then you hand it off to a fullback on 4th down. So Vrabel, I don't know exactly what's going on, but he is a young coach. He's very, very eager to try to prove that, he's like a tough guy, but this is not a Madden game. Like, this is not video games. This is real football. If you're going to go for it on 4th down, you got to put out a play that is going to give you the best chance to do what needs to be done at that time. So that really shaped the game for me personally. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it made me know at that point that the Titans are more than likely, they're probably not going to make the playoffs now. Because the Texans' schedule down the stretch is very, very easy. But that's my opinion. It's still NFL football games. You still got to go out there. You still got to win. But it looks pretty easy. And the way that they're playing right now, I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody on the remaining schedule for them to beat them. So as we look at it the way that they are, I've already been asked by several Houston Texans fans, G-Mile, what do you think? How far do you think they can go? And I think they can go as far as the defense takes them because offensively, they're going to be able to score, but that all depends on how, what Deshaun Watson we actually get. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you get a guy that is scared to, throw the ball down the field, scared to do certain, you're not going to beat these teams in the playoffs running around. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make sure that they keep you in the pocket. And we've learned that throughout the playoff histories and stuff like that. If there's a mobile quarterback, they try to keep you in the pocket. They've done it to Russell Wilson several times. And that is when you have to be able to perform and throw that ball accurately and do certain things like that to make your team be in a better position to win the game. And like I said, that's what concerned me earlier in the year when it first started. Like game 1, bro, I'm like, yo, what is this guy? Deshaun Watson looked like he was going to just be a bust. And then all of a sudden he started to come back. Now he's playing at a better level. He made a lot more of, that old Deshaun Watson, type of choices. He made it so we were able to see that, okay, this guy is ready to play some football. You know, so I like where he is right now. And that's what makes me give them a chance to, I think they go to the second round. That's like my gut feeling right now. How do they match up against some of the top teams? Now, I do believe that the Chiefs are dangerous when playing anyone. All right. If the Texans played the Patriots right now, do I think they could beat the Patriots? Yes, I do. Honestly, I think that they could. And it's not because of like, you know, oh, Tom Brady's washed up or anything like that. I just think that they have the tools defensively to be able to, you know, get that pressure on Tom Brady. Like, you already know what it is, bro. When you start getting that pressure on Tom Brady, he don't know what be going on. You guys remember that playoff game with the Denver Broncos? I think that they could generate that type of a pass rush, and that would create something very, very ridiculous for Tom Brady to deal with and, you know, ultimately result in them winning. I don't see them beating the Chiefs. You see, the Chiefs is that wild card team, like, and even with the Steelers, like, I don't see them beating the Steelers either. Even with Big Ben making the dumbest decisions ever, I don't really trust the secondary of the Texans. I love their front seven. I love it. You know what I'm saying, bro? It kind of turns me on a little bit. I'm going to be honest about it. Like, they're very, very vicious, but I don't trust their secondary. And the Steelers, the reason that the Steelers are kind of like people don't really want to put too much stock in the Steelers is because James Conner is not really, like, he's done a very, very good job as being, you know, a suitable guy to step in for Le'Veon Bell, but he's not Le'Veon Bell. And we've seen that in the most drastic moments. He's going to fumble the ball. He's going to drop passes. He's going to do wild things, bro, that Le'Veon Bell more than likely wouldn't be doing. Not to say that he's not a good running back. It's just the fact that he's not what they had prior. So that's the reason that a lot of people don't really give the Steelers any kind of edge. Because when it comes down to it, you're going to need to be able to make those plays in the clutch situations. Now, maybe Connor gets better down the stretch, gets a little bit more clutch. But at this point, I don't really trust him as much as I would trust Le'Veon Bell. So, you know, with the Texans, those are the teams. The Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, and the Steelers. I think that those are the two teams that can really get. I'm not even going to, bro, I really believe the Texans play the Patriots, they're beating the Patriots. Like, I would bet the Texans. I would go right, bro, I'd fly to Vegas and bet, like, put everything on the Texans to beat the Patriots if they were going to play today. Now, how the season shapes out, if they don't do what I'm predicting and, you know, pretty much run through and win the AFC South and something goes crazy or somebody gets injured, because you got to remember, Lamar Miller, they got a run game too. You know what I'm saying? Dude got two 97-yard TDs, bro. Like, they got a run game. They got a solid defense. Like I said, I don't really trust the secondary, but they have a solid defense up front, which is going to be able to, you know, usually they'll control the run. So that's usually how teams try to, you know, really hurt you in the playoffs. They can control the run. They can really move the ball offensively. They got a good running back. Like I said, Deshaun Watson is playing better. So if they're able to close out the season the way that I think that they can, no injuries, DeAndre Hopkins is still playing at a high level, things like that are going on, they can definitely, if they run into the Patriots, they're beating the Patriots. Like, if everything goes according to plan. Now, we got to see, because the Patriots also, like, we have to see how they shape out. But everybody knows when it's playoff time, the Patriots, like, you know, they do what they got to do, and they're controlling the AFC East. So, you know, more than likely, we'll be able to see what the Texans are about in the first round of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll be able to see what's going on. I know that people are going to say, yeah, you know, Watson is still young and stuff like that, but they got to grow up. Like, you know, these are young men right here. They grow up fast. And like I said, that team is that team right now, even though I don't believe the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. You know, because I just don't think that they have everything this year. I don't know. If they go to the Super Bowl, I will be very, very surprised. Like, extremely. And I'm never usually wrong about stuff like this, because you can, the NFL is kind of easy. Once you see the teams that go into the playoffs, you can always kind of predict which team is going to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And in this situation, I don't think that the Patriots are strong enough to go. And if this matchup is something like an earlier matchup, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously I believe the Patriots will probably win out enough to get a first-round bye, so it probably would be divisional. If this were to happen and everything goes according to plan, Houston Texans win the AFC South, there's no really, you know, major injury to that unit, I do believe that that's a team that the Patriots don't want to see the Texans. They just don't want to see the Texans. You know, if it ends up that they got to play the Steelers or they got to play the Chiefs, that's where I think that it's over. I don't give them a chance beating either of those teams. I would love to hear what you guys think about it. Do you think that they're good enough to beat those teams? I just think that those are the only two teams that can really cut their playoff hopes short. I want to thank everybody for watching. This is another completed week of G Miles World Podcast with the NFL. Please feel free to subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your holiday. I'll see you next week. One love.